From Georgia to D.C., remembrances continue for former President Jimmy Carter's honor. Tonight, all eyes on the nation's capital, where the former president is lying in state.
That is where we find Fox 5's Russ Spencer, who is continuing our coverage from the Capitol tonight. Russ, really amazing to see how many people lined up in that bitter cold to pay their respects to the former president.
It really is, Courtney and Tom. I mean, we're talking about wind chills now close to 10 degrees outside, and thousands of people have showed up at the U.S. Capitol behind me, a real sign of respect for the former president. And if you've watched the ceremonies today, you have a sense of how much planning went into this. The Carter Center has been consulting with the media for a decade. You remember the former president had some falls. He survived cancer. I mean, people could be forgiven for thinking that he was going to live forever, but he knew that wasn't going to happen. And in a light moment, exactly 30 years ago this month, Jimmy Carter had a conversation with Brian Lamb of C-SPAN about what the Carter Center was going to do without him and how reluctant they were to even have that conversation. Listen.
And we got a group of scholars at Emory to analyze how the university would treat the Carter Center after I was no longer there. And they couldn't bring themselves to use any sort of frank language about my being dead. There are a lot of very nice things you could say pass on to the heavenly reward, or going to meet his maker, or no longer with us, or having passed away. But they couldn't, these professors couldn't even bring themselves to say that I was going to pass away or go to meet my heavenly reward or go to meet my maker. They just said my level of participation would be reduced.
His level of participation would be reduced. That is just, I'm sorry, that's simply hilarious, and a light moment that we needed on this somber and reverent day. And it's interesting to note that over the weekend, this past weekend, when Jason Carter spoke at the Carter Center, he acknowledged that things are going to be different there. But he said that Jimmy Carter's spirit fills that place, and the people there have so much experience. They know the mission. The work will continue for generations, he hopes. Tom and Courtney, back to you.
Yeah, it's so nice to get that levity in the midst of what's been a really somber day, and several somber days here, but it just kind of goes to show what kind of a person he was. He had a great sense of humor and someone who could laugh even about his own mortality.
And you got to love when he said they won't have my full participation at the Carter Center after my passing, meaning he's going to have his eyes on the Carter Center just to make sure everything is going okay.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Russ, thanks.